Então lá.
ครับผม
Tashdele.
Tashdele, Geshe-la.
Tashdele.
Geshe-la.
Tashdele.
Tashdele, Geshe-la.
Tashdele.
Geshe-la.
Tashdele.
Okay. So we'll start the session with prostration. Namo Manjo Shri Namo So Shri Namo Dhamma Shri Soha Namo Manjo Shri Namo So Shri Namo Dhamma Shri Soha Namo Manjo Shri Namo So Shri Namo Dhamma Shri Soha
藏经解答，
藏经中阿罗，讲究马多当年家族经，大概全年级别从南极，罗拉北京三天周八修，沙西北京修学没多长，让林区年年天马地，三界先到明天不阿言，多给南大天大绝八修，也当各州的南边那拉桑内亚太阳。
嗯。 당한 도마 운용저와 운용한다 나고 예내야 원데 산지 전주스 뭐 용수 링기 나가 봐. 단나지 싸다가 나시지. 에로 때마다 뭐 데이터가 되는 거지. 데이터가 되어도 진짜. 고로로베 산지 전주스 뭐 용수도 권시에 상담해 봤지. 더 나고 예내 우양원데 소신 되게 배 진짜 강하다 간다. 디제스 가면 티가 되는 거 좋티네. 델리 바칸스 나노 봐. 이에는 망고데 지와 세라 토면서 디방가 봐 다스 냐면 메치시 다 이에야 송 이에는 송 니가니야 송 니가 마스 숨시 데 미바타란 존쇼스.
We start with breathing meditations. So we visualize Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the sky in front of us. In the middle of the assembly is the main figure, Buddha Shakyamuni. In his heart is Lama Tsongkhapa, and in his heart is Vajradhara. And he's surrounded by Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So when we breathe in, we visualize, we breathe in together with the nectar and light descent from Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the sky in front of us, in the form of white, red, and blue, and together with the nectar, enter into our body. And when we breathe out, we visualize all our negativities, sicknesses, sufferings, obscurations in the form of black smoke or black liquid come out from our body together with the out-breath. So the first set of 3 times of breathing meditations, we breathe in with our right nostrils and breathe out with our left nostril. This is the first set of 3 times breathing. The second set of 3 breathings, and we breathe in with our left nostril and breathe out with our right nostril. The third set of breathing, we breathe in and out with both nostrils.
Dumajine Sinjeta Tranji, Ran Devan Debanaji, some Devan Debajism, Ran Dunga Debanaji, yet some Dunga Debajism. The Dumajine Sinjeta Tranji, Dag Sendi Manaji, Kadishima Shada, Mama Chicha Mesa, Tendi San Dumajine Sinjeta, Devan de Lando Golo Chibi, that Dunga machine on a day, Kichija Mandibi, that Jeshimana Deva Pisos of the Jamaru, Yambi, Shamba conscious.
All sentient beings are just like us, wishing for happiness and not wanting sufferings. So, however, not knowing the object of abandonment and object of adoptions properly, always engage in the actions that will only bring forth the result of suffering. All sentient beings who have been our mothers since beginningless time, their kindness is exactly same as the kindness of the mother of this life. So think in your mind, cultivate loving kindness, thinking how nice if all sentient beings have happiness, may they have happiness.
The Dumajine Sinjeta Tanji, Gosun Muntibi, 동에 타다도 저는 점으로 인지 conscious.
Next, we cultivate compassion, thinking how nice if all sentient beings, three doors, be free of all sufferings. May their three doors be free of all sufferings.
동아진의 생기대다 단지 동아리에 도인 게 있을 부분을 생기 내려라 보자. 그다리네 가서 양다 봐도 비상지 공부나 그비 니바는 니바를 쓰라서 양다 봐도 상지를 여바시네. 대신 이제 트랜지트의 상지 공부도 샤오 연결된 창조 시스템 conscious.
Next, we cultivate bodhicitta, asking oneself, who should take the responsibility to free all sentient beings from suffering? I have the responsibility to free all sentient beings from suffering. However, I do not have such ability. Who have the ability? Only those who achieve the state of enlightenment have the ability to free all sentient beings from sufferings. Therefore, for the sake of all sentient beings, I want to become Buddha. So this is to cultivate bodhicitta.
다 군호치야 되면서 현재 탄지 체도 더 상지 공부도 대이 체도 대창조 language nutrition 이 안에 지금도 지금 있어 되는 군호세 subterfuge.
So we set motivation. For the sake of all sentient beings, I want to become Buddha. For this purpose, I'm going to receive Lamrim teachings and put it into practice.
Thank you. 아들이 된가서 삼대들이스. 그래서 서치 짜이스지 숨바로와 숨바 연대는 서치 송나로 리피스도 받지와시 텐데라 연대는 내내 템바다 샤완지 송나로 다 간다 템바다 샤완지 들이야 자가르지 베든지 니요로 다데 베든지 디나마 서치 디나로 군도레 데다 투비 군바 사와시비 숑좀바로 주 피스소비 주 송세 땡게서 피스소비 주 송에서 데레스
So, look for page 9. So under the divisions of Atisha's greatness, then there are three divisions. The first one is how Atisha took birth in an excellent family, how Atisha obtained his excellent qualities on that basis. Having obtained them, how Atisha performed deeds for the sake of the teachings. So now we have come to the third divisions. And under these divisions, again, there are another two divisions. The first one is the deeds in India, another one is deeds in Tibet. So we already covered the first clearing up misconceptions about the Dharma and restoring the traditions. identifying the three causes of excellence in the compositions of treatises is what we are going to talk about today. So before we start these 2 hours, 2 hours of Dharma discussions, so please think about how to conjoin listening to Dharma with the complete practice of 6 perfections. So since it's very important, so please think recall the way how to practice, how to conjoin listening to Dharma with the practice of 6 perfections.
That is the tongue de Kanda to a Sanji Jonden, Gumba de Masawa should be shown. Sombala, that Kanda pieces of it, Joe.
So, identifying the 3 causes of excellence in the compositions of treatises. So this is the topic that I'm going to talk about. So there are 3 causes for excellence when composing a text, clarifying the sage intentions.
That pieces of it just something else in Deria Kanda. The Shija repeating on a cabasi. That repeating on the Kasipendo Shibanaji, dirty but density but sorry but sorry but that naughty was it dinner. Not shout the naughty but any grower. Dirty but density but sorry but sorry but shitterwa. That they can naughty pass it. That naughty but the Mazu that Labason, last of another, sinking to Tashiagi, Talam Sorwa, naughty but what.
Thank you.
Rank Saint Ju the part Tuyagi, a Tashi, Talam Labasona in a Saint to Yorwa. Or deal dish with that naughty but a keba.
So the first one is being learned in the 5 areas of knowledge. So the 5 areas of knowledge, we already talked about it. So just to recap, the first one is language, logic, craft, medicine, and inner Buddhist knowledge. So the inner Buddhist knowledge basically talks about the method to tame our mind. So in order to tame our mind, the 3 trainings. So basically it contains in 3 trainings. So it basically talked about taming our mind.
That in the Hiji repeating on a keba maze, they can't danger zombala susuke, that Georgie Changelandu song, that Chidan danger Mango. That they must young about the Sanji in the Sunday, Tamper Pamachipa, Manga the Dembach Gurias or danger zombie, Manga the Dembach. That Kanda Changelandu zombala. Toma, Manga Kara Dimbagon, that Chanjo Naji Dimbago Jeja, that GB or Jaji Chibi Mangata, Samota Jiji Manga, or Digi Jiba, that Manga Niga Jiba the Dimash. Yanda was to be Sanji, Sunday, the Kanda, Paramachiba, that Kanda Choji la Yorwa, with the leader Dimaj Kurias.
The second one is having received instructions on essential points for practicing their meaning, which transmit the instructions of the perfectly complete Buddha in an unbroken line of exalted masters. So Lama Atisha composed many texts, and in order to compose those texts, and it is one of the causes of excellence is to receive instructions on essential points for practicing their meaning, which is, so these essential points for practicing their meaning refers to the instructions on vast conduct and the instructions on the profound view, and then which transmit the instructions from the perfect Buddha and then in an unbroken line through the exalted masters.
Shiji repeating on a keba, Takanda, Yanda was to be Sanjin is the Tamba Pamachi Menga Demba. That day can Idangela hears in the song now to was Pigu. 이런 데라의 희생이 숨고 나와도 봐.
So on top of the first two causes, the first is being learned in the 5 areas of knowledge, and the second one is having received the instructions on essential points for practicing their meaning. Then the third cause of excellence is having received the permission to teach through the visions of a personal deity.
다들 리슨도 된거 선자 다 같이 희지 리핀네가라 케바데 같이 공도 먼저 조지 바디아데샤 고론 내시 짜치 진행다 다 시바도 나비 리핀네 팀와 다리바 테즈르 조리바 아트살라 잔 페케바 푸도 심바 주야 로지카스 슈사르와 오다 같이 데시사레스와 고리마.
Yeah, so the first cause of excellence being learned in the 5 areas of knowledge. So we already talked about it already. So at the age of 21, Lama Adisha became expert in the 5 areas of knowledge.
다 간다 양다바 조베 상진에 톰버 파마치베 맹아다 덴바데 다 제치치지게 맹아 데바데 간다 자와 샴바네마 토메네마 지베 림바지 제치치지게 와 랑제 맹아다 덴바다 다 사모타지데 간다 지진장비아네마 곰블루드네마 지네 간다 사모타이 지바 맹아다 덴바 데 조지라 창상아디 그랬어.
The second one is having received instructions on essential points for practicing their meanings, which transmit the instructions of the perfectly complete Buddha in an unbroken lines of exalted masters. So here, Lama Adisha possess the lineage of instructions, lineage of instructions on fast conduct and the profound view. So which is transmitted from Maitreya to Asanga, the fast conduct, and Manjushri to Nagarjuna, the lineage of instructions on the profound view. So Lama Adisha possessed these two lineage of instructions.
다들 이동질라 현수와의 다 간다 떠발에 나솔로 자원들이 다 떠가 지지버들로 걸어 딜라 간다 로 어디 집이 도지 단식이 비제고 다 빠원지 대왕쇼 다 간다 이동질라 현수 송은 나와 터야 다 바바 진리시 로조 지지도마 대인초 로 다들 소 간다 플라 모요이라 그래서 라 이런 몸부지 간다 또 시에스네 다 사바다 자치 Malano pe sabata jachi lanjiribate ditato pe semba dus kanda dusi warwa so pe nilano kanda dus semba nongere George Padia de Jack. That the nigga danger song chowage no one nongere idan so idan pe kanda no one chugwa idan de like hezi ba manje song no one to danger from me song no one to chugwa that de George Padia de Jack papa chirizela no one to danger ta moyo da jitu domana so that data you don't much be the super no one to stories. Thank you so much.
So as for help from personal deities, so it says in the praise of the glorious, so praise here refers to 80 verses of the praise. So of the glorious Hevajra, of the Samaya Viharaja, of the Roy Lokeshwara, noble Reverend Tara and others, we had visions and permissions. Thus in dreams and through direct perception, you perpetually heard the Dharma, holy teachings, profound and vast. So here it talks about Lama Adisha always listened to the teachings of vast conduct and profound view from those deities that he had a direct vision, such as Jeresic, such as Lokeshwara is Jeresic, such as Tara, such as Hevajra, such as Achala. So those deities from whom he listened to the teachings on vast conduct and the profound views all the time. And not only he had visions and received the teachings from them, he also received the permissions to teach in terms of composing a text. So he received such permissions from those deities to compose texts.
That is not also danger zomba syndrome in a gandarwa. Also, Dani Jusumbo de Karuchi, Mebaina, that danger zone of danger pita which how you maris. That danger and zomba, danger zomba, no dream worries, no dream worry. And so, repeat Nanga, the so Yabuchi Mashibaina, that danger zomba also 대조 가르톨이나 다시 가르톨은 연구요 뭐라 오다 간다 된다 남비 땡제 좀발라 너리 발라 개바지 메바이나 다 땡제 좀 도야요 뭐라 도야요 말 어떤지 선사 다 땡지 여바 마집에 예당 클라이페 셰스는 순간 나와 더버지 오다 땡지 중바이나 피스소비 저 피스소보다 중바이나 대주소보다 땡제 좀발라 피스소바레스 가지 순간 만사바이나 예바 가로 진상으로 해서 거라 어찌 만사바이나 땡제 피다고 이거 말해서 거라.
So in order to compose a text, if anyone, the author, wishing to compose a text, do not possess any of these three causes of excellence, so that author, even though they wish to compose a text, if that author do not have any cause of excellence, even though they compose a text, that text, the instructions or the teachings in the words in the compositions would be a mistaken one. Like for example, if an author are not expert in 5 areas of knowledge, then it's impossible for him to compose a text that is the correct, that contains the correct words, right? So for example, the inner Buddhist knowledge. So if you want to compose a Buddhist commentaries or Buddhist treatises, if you are not expert in the inner Buddhist knowledge, how could you compose a text that is the correct one? So even though you compose a text, that will not become an excellent text as well. So among these 3 causes of teachings, best is to have these 3 causes of excellence complete. If an author do not possess all 3 causes of excellence, at least that author must possess 1 cause of excellence in order to compose texts.
더 좋지 빠데 디셜라페 땡제 좀발라 다 주성과 비순성과 열었고 주성과 비순성에 관해 다 간다 땡제 좀바 레스와.
So Lama Atisha possess all these 3 causes of excellence.
당어도 대 조지라마 간다 먼저 라마 지발 유나지 시오르와 간다 라마 지발마 테바 투모이 지바지다 테바 쳔비 지바니세 당고 지바니 두스마지 시오르와.
And regarding Guru's lineage, so Lama Atisha held numerous lineages of Guru, such as the 2 lineages of the common vehicle and of the Mahayana.
나들 시오데 간다 티바 티모이 지바스나 다 간다 티바 중어 가식 시바 맞아 자이디시 자이 제도마 자이디시 그래서 따와의 지비기 지바 티모 나도 소리 맞아 소리 ben 냥이 제거야 맞아 티바 침비 리지트 소고베 냥이 제거 뭐 연로와 맞아 냥이 제거 뭐 차고야
티바 침보야 디 냥된 제거야
냥이 제거 여대 뭐 요래 데데디 간다 디나로 가르티오스나 다 간다 티바 중국이나 제바다 대지바 지비지바 대지바 대 창상在地势题目的你的点那个题目的对吧
공다 따위 쥐바다
따위 쥐바다 쥐비쥐바다 따위 쥐바 니가
쥐바
쥐바 대 참마 간다 티바题目와서 다 티바 중앙에 배 이게 在地势쥐바다 쥐비쥐바다 따위 쥐바다 수题目하시고 그랬어 다들 속이 쥐바다 다 간다 저기랑 어디 그랬어
So regarding this, the lineage of gurus that Lama Atisha held, so they are divided into 2. The two lineages are the common one and the uncommon one. So the common vehicle referred to the Hinayana vehicle. So when, also related to what we have discussed about, which was the Vaibhashikas, and under these Vaibhashikas, and there are 4 root traditions, the four root traditions that we talked about before, such as Mahasamghika, Sammitya, and etc. So those teachings under or belong to the common vehicles are common to Mahayana or Mahayana practitioners to practice as well. So in these lineages of the common vehicle can be divided into 2. So the lineage of view and the lineage of conduct. So these 2 lineages, Lama Atisha had such lineage.
다들 리선장 와서 티바 침복을 지바의 시험에 간다 바로의 신비 지바다 다 상하게 지바니 레버와 파신 티비 지바다 상하게 지바니 레버래 다 파신 티비 지바다 간다 따이 지바다 지비 지바다 니 레버래스
So, and of the Mahayana. So, of the Mahayana refer to the uncommon vehicle. So, this Mahayana lineage can be divided into two again. So, Paramitayana and Secret Mantrayana. So, under Paramitayana, can again divided into two lineages: the lineage of view and the lineage of conduct. The lineage of view or the lineage of profound view. So that is transmitted from Manjushri to Nagarjuna. Konda, the Jubi Jibate. Yeah, and with regard to the lineage of conduct, and they are again divided into two. These two, the first lineage transmitted from Maitreya, and the second lineage transmitted from Manjushri. And that is the reason why we pay homage to those holy masters and to those deities at the beginning of the text. So the lineage of conduct, as mentioned just now, one is transmitted from Maitreya to Asanga, and the lineage of instructions is called seven cause and effect. And the second lineage that is transmitted from Manjushri to Shantideva, the lineage of instructions is called seven equalizing and exchanging oneself with other.
Third is the cussing also Tinjin the Chida Pekinjo Motoji Dangari, China, Notoji Dangari, Loga, you said it. Takanda, bedding one to Jimbana, Motoji Kaswa, and Doikas, some bedding one to Jimbas, but Motoji Kaswa, Sawa, Shintingore. Or Shishin Doikas, Shishin Doikas, bedding one to Jimbadua, the bedding one to Jimbate, Tinjin Motoji, Shamba, Tinjin Motoji Kaspas, this Sawa, Shin bedding one to Jimbas, Sawa, Shintingore. Savage thing to check out there. That day, Tandanga George by the day, Dangan, Janulan, Dangan, the Jizzy Shango, but the Jinji Danga is a logo visited. Mondo Jiji Casa, Masupe, Chimbason, Kasishimba, or Chimbason, Yishi, Lanchi, Nanchi Sodroa, Yishi, Lanchi Sodroa, Yishi, Lanchi, Nanchi, Chimbason. That Chimbason Timbicala. Shishi Timbicala, Shishi number Shibicala, but Jibu Chundri long Timo Chanza they were. Jibu Chumud and Ding long Timo Chanza, Delma, that Jibu Chundri Langi need Delma Dine, that on the George by the Delma Din and the she was or Jiji Shangi, didn't about the Dang, Jiji Shangi, Notoji Dang is a logo in the city. Notoji Dang is or Jibu Chumuda, that Shandu Landigipina. Jibus in the but thing were so the thing were that Jibu Chumud and drinking lunch in the Soma, Gumban decided, she said, and want to Jacas, she number the she color, take us a Jibu Chumud and drink it under the chance of this, take us she were Denima Dinicuna. Denima, Dekanda, de Jibu Chumud and drink it, lunch in but she was, that's all there is shared. Give a chunding, Jibu Chumud lunch in but I didn't lunch in but so. My shake turned out courage, Tinjin, Shishi because so, Yishi because so, Kanda number show, Yish number show, take us so, they can't achieve Chumud and drink a lot of China take us shows. This show that in other day, Georgia by the Shaggy, or Chibi Chundi Lande, my dear, Tinjin, Danga is a logo, you say Chide, or de res Kandroa, Chibi Chundi Land, landed in body, Shishi Kasuma, so my dear, Demanashima, and the rest. that machine is.
So he said, lamp for the path to enlightenment relies on the instructions revealed in Ornament for Clear Realizations. So Ornament for Clear Realizations is a scriptures that reveal the implicit meaning in Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. So the implicit meaning in the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra is Ornament for Clear Realizations. So Maitreya revealed it clearly, the implicit meaning in the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra in the scripture called Ornament for Clear Realization. And this Ornament for Clear Realizations, then we talked about three knowledges. The first one is knowledge of basis, the second one is knowledge of path, and the third one is result. So when this also we talked about before. So regarding these three knowledges, the first one, the knowledge of basis, it talks about the content, talks about the path of small and medium scopes of being. So when Lama Adisha composed a lamp for the path to enlightenment, then Lama Adisha rely on Ornament for Clear Realizations as a text, as a main text, and then he composed this lamp for the path to enlightenment. So in which he talks about the stages of the path of small and medium scopes of being.
This is a Kanda de that Dinjanga Chick Dinjanga Chi Danga in Silaway, you say Chide, Kanda Rua, Chibi Chimbi Lanjin Badrua, that Chibi Chung and Ding Lanjin Badi, Shishik number she because did that sword Mashiva Jirua. That Chibi Chimbi Lanjin Badi, that Yerua, Shishida, Namchida, Lanshi Namashi. Lanshi the Namchi, Chamber, Sonalo, that Namchi the Lanshi Haswa. Oh, Denny Shibikala, they can't take that sword. They can't achieve a chimney launcher, but she wears. They Magumbandia Zoji Kanda.
So I have a corrections. So just now I mentioned the three knowledges. The first one is knowledge of basis. The second one is knowledge of path, and the third one is result. So it's not result, it's omniscient. Sorry, the third one is omniscient, not result. So why we say the instructions in Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment is the instructions revealed in Ornament for Clear Realizations. So as mentioned just now, the first one, knowledge of basis, it talks about the practices, or it talks about the path of small and medium scopes of being. And the second and third knowledges, the knowledge of path, and the third one, omniscience. So it talks about the path of great scopes of being.
다 간다가서 자치 찌지집에 명하게 집어 쏘데 간다로와 다 자와 상관이 맞듯이 중거래 다 사모때 집어다 간다 지진 장비에는 근벌로 가서 자와시라 다 요도메도 자와시라더라와 자와시르게 사밀한지린 바데 빠소 군반데야데 다 자와시르 차워시 자와시르 다 자와시르 되게 막 본데 오만 집어요 오만 집어 왔다도 섭에 오미게 따와고라 간다 다 요도메도 되게 자와시르 왔다도 섭마 Gumandiata, Gumbulugi, Jambian and Gumbulu Jimmy, Samutaji Rimba, Losa, that's our Gumandia Direkanda.
So this lineage of vast conduct is transmitted from Maitreya to Asanga, and the lineage of profound view is transmitted from Manjushri to Nagarjuna, and then Nagarjuna composed a text called Middle Way. That middle way called wisdom, and then together with and the commentary on this middle way called wisdom is entering the middle way.
That the news on Zarwa, that kind of that George Padi the Shakanda, Jachi Lanjarimbata, Samuel Taji Lanjarimbani, that is Makanda, Chini Chidoma Jide Kanda Gumban de Sagizoya Tulodi, Tayaya Tulodi Kandarwa. Gumbulu in Jambia and Jambia and Yato the Cantandoma, Gumatan and Shiwera. What that Jizi Shangupena, Mambatawa Jinji Dangatua, Montoji Dangate, and Yajuna, that's to a such joint in the Tulu. So Dangadia, Yaya Kunches and Jirua, Sosoge, Ranzo Maiba, Danger Zombina, Sosoga Ranzo Maiba, Ya Kunda Demba, Mangata Demba, or Danger Zomba, Roa. Danger the Zombala, Manga Jipan, the Nichida Madiba. Kunjia menjo ranzo ina de deja lutti on the drug in the Hayores or deja rua, deja lutti on the drug in the Hayores or to Shiver.
And so Lama Atisha possessed through lineages of stages of the path of vast conduct and profound view. And these lineages of instructions is transmitted from one to another, then all the way to Nagarjuna and then to Manjushri. And then the lineages of instructions revealed in ornament for clear realizations that can be traced back up to Maitreya and then to Buddha. So in order to compose treatises, in order to compose a treatise, it is not supposed to be composed with one's new creations. So it's not to be newly created by by the so-called author. So when the author wants to compose a text, they do not compose it with their own creations, and they compose it with the lineage of instructions that they possess or they received. So if they were to compose a text or compose a treatise with the instructions they newly created, then there is a great danger will lead the disciples or the readers to the wrong path.
That is the dikazing perwa jechi chijik pe menga ma judan deda da samota education but she ani she urwa that did na so samota jide jina kechi bushida shu so ndo da kanda zawachiri kusere ro zawachiri umanji bare wa shu so ma tanga so nanji uma ka tawa yodo me de na pwa zo de da zawachiri taw chawe zawachiri da de zawachiri de ma buma de bade da ta umanji barwa umanji bare da dindi sonza 단단히 단단 와서 나리 ngode로 마다가 루요레 다 단다 참마게 배나서 로중들라 다 냥내다 냥도 다네 루요로 냥내다 다네 루요레 참마게 슈제네 로와 슈제네 간다 마음바랑 가서 디 베이직 프로그램 디 숑창소지 차바 있나 디제라 가서 우마랑 따와더라 우마 자와치레 란다 우만 주버 랑거 토네 때간다 우마고 토라 따와 쏘 가서 그래서 로중 지하게 나랑 세례 차시도 지요스와 가서 디 개청 거지라레스 단다 야부시 장사디 슈랑 가서 우마가 또 양자 비다고 차는 그랬어 로와 비다고 양자 쇼 차는 그랬어 그래서 나리기 빼는 다다 우미 따와 요디로와 그래서 이제 다 슈랑 가서 빼다 우마랑게 쇼청고 자와 당연히 쇼청고 자와 지라도 우만 주고도 서로와 어다 디슬라 가서 제라 판진다디 디차바이나 우마랑아파 슈제네 디소마 지나 땡외 닌스기 당한서 고쳐버려서 간다 다와 진조 뺏겨사이 가서 리테 토바데 다 딘디 숑쳔고 가서 따와다 주번니가 토네더니 냥내다 다니 너무 지치고 가니 이음바다 답게 소소소소라베 가와 야보 가와치고야게 도스 차오여레스.
So these two lineages of profound view and vast conducts are important, and related to the lineage of profound views, the main text that we realize is the middle way, the view of middle way. So the text is middle way called Wisdom, composed by Nagarjuna, and the commentary on middle way called Wisdom is composed by the Chandrakirti called Entering the Middle Way. So those are the main texts that we refer to in relation to the profound view. So we have to, whatever that we learn, then we have to conjoin it with, we have to put it into practice. Then we have to say, even though we finish these basic programs few years later, so even though we finish it, then we should continue put effort in studying as well. So especially the middle way, the view of middle way. So my plan is after we finish basic program, then we will put effort in studying the view of middle way. So those are those texts about the view of middle way. So and then say the view of the understanding that we have, then will become better and better. So those are this is my plan. So after we finish this basic program, so if we're able to do so, we continue to study, then we put it into practice, then we serve the purpose of obtaining this precious human body, precious human rebirth, endowed with 8 leisures and 10 opportunities, and then it's something worth rejoice.
예, 단단 고르마 치리니가 뜻을 넣어야 준세데 당번이 가서 배 로종의 휴지야 배 채바 쉬어서와 당 가서 냥리다 단들와 가서 로종 지야다 냥리 단에 누구여서와 대 제공단 누구 니가 누구여서와 된도와서 때가 참아 배고가 상부에서와.
Yeah, so we should recognize how fortunate we are that we have such opportunity to study the text and then we conjoin it with practice. So because of the importance of this conjoining study with practice, therefore I reiterate the importance of these two at the beginnings of these basic programs that we have to not only do stabilizing meditations on what we have studied, and then we have to do analytical meditations on it as well.
다 디제는 가서 상가를 집어가 루가 시고도 상가를 집어 루가 와. 다 디제는 가서 집어 상가 집어들 루가 다 상가 타다기 집어서 상디지 집어서 와. 당보다 상가 타다 집어. 상디지 집어. 마지 집어. 셰지다 지지 nenjo지 집어. 와. 셰지 지지 nenjo지.
숨겨래.
숨겨라. 셰지 지지 nenjo지 집어. 더 신지 집어. 당아
And in the secret mantra, he had received 5 types of transmissions as well as many other lineages. So 5 types of transmissions of secret mantra is the first one, lineage of O Tantra. The second one, lineage of Kuya Samaja. The third one is lineage of Mother Tantra. The fourth one is lineage of action, performance, and yoga tantra. The fifth one is lineage of Yamataka. So these are the 5 lineages of secret mantra that Lama Atisha held. So the first one is lineage of O Tantra. The second one is lineage of Kuya Samaja. The third one, lineage of Mother Tantra. Fourth one, lineage of action, performance, and yoga tantra. The fifth one is the lineage of Yamataka.
다 뜻이 시험이 먼저 데 상하게 주방아 싫어. 다 대지라 간다. 전타기 주바스 리고리. 다 전타시기 주바 시험이 간다와. 다 조지 바데 티가 다 주바 간다. 명하게 주바 창상 리고리. 전타기 주바스와 딜라 간다. 주원데레 공부르르다 아얀데와. 소 공부르르다 아얀데와마. 다 전타기 주바 신다. 간다 라마 가시 열어와. lama khajir zoma ngombo luta ayande wanima tundak juba chanzo ligu yoris.
And as well as many other lineages such as the lineage of tenets. So the lineage of tenets mainly transmitted from Nagarjuna and Ayadeva and many others lama as well.
Da shinlagi juba de kanda derwa shinlagi juba de dir juba de yawa dojin chane. Da dojin chane telo naro it is a mobile level. The dojin chane telo naro ndobo wase. That is a lama kashi yeriswa. Telo naro ndobo wase the dojin chak shinlagi juba derwa.
The lineage of blessings mainly transmitted from Dojichang, Vajradhara, Tilopa, Naropa, Drupowa, and others.
다디 대지라 간다 담바 난소지 주바지 대시 다 담바 난소 세다 가서 조 로종도 들으시고 그러와 로종데 배 로종게 담바 난소도 와서 들려고 다 로종게 담바 난소 가서 로종이와 로종게 담바 난소 봐다 로종 된비마서 로종 선창콜로서 와들어와 마샤 돈 요새가 되는데 다 로종 자사요 마모 여러와 다 로종 자사로서 마모 여러와 로종 자사서 여러와 that the sugi damba nanso be jibasna lojo damba nanso be jibat so so shiwer that the sugi ma jibate that dil shiwer kanda wa gombolu de lejan jeba waswa nig lama khashir wa gombolu da lejan da jeba wa se nig lama khashir hindba the nig lama khashir wa damba nanso be jibat.
And lineages of various instructions. So lineage of various instructions is related to mind training, is related to lojong. So the text such as, the lineage of instructions such as 7 points of mind training, wheel of sharp weapons. So there are over 100 texts or 100 lineages of instructions. So this is called lineage of various instructions that is mainly transmitted from Nagarjuna to Lujam to Jibawa and others.
다 담만 난서고 집어 다 간다 다도 저거 집어 간가다 간다 조지 빠다 디샤라 다 간다 요데서 그러와 다 간다 힌트 받인 말로 다 힌트 받아 셀링 받아 반담 보디시나세 다 누르 더 지나 가서 조지라 누르 더 라마 조니 요레서 무슨 누르 더 라마 조니 근데 시우도와
So the gurus from whom he heard instructions directly are mentioned in the praise. Again, this praise is 80 verses of praise. The gurus you always rely on were Shantipa, Suvarnadvipa. So Suvarnadvipa is Lama Salingpa, the Padra Bodhi Gyanasri. So many who had accomplished CDs. In particular, you have the profound and vast instructions that have been passed on from one to another, all the way from Nagarjuna. So basically, here it talks about Lama Atisha received those lineage of instructions from transmitted from these Manjushri, Maitreya, and etc.
다 디시우도와 다 간다 디 맞어 조지 빠다 디샤라 간다로와 다 당하고 주바 디 로와 찬성 디마세 간다 랑리기 당하고 주바 가당 비슈드서 간다 가당 shum바와다 가당 명아바세 가당 랑리바세 당가서 랑리디야 쿵지서 조데 맞어 가당비 라마시아 토망가서 랑리 윤사고 쿵다고 담보 미다니 윤사데 조지 빠디야 디샤는 거선 데바 랑리세 미다야 랑리세 뭐 미다야 맞어 미다고 토마베 다야 조지 빠디야 디샤는 마다 장주 람주드마스 람드세 디가스마 데간다 가담비 고수사 딘마스 고 가다로와 데 가담비 케바리지 몸보 시부 레사로와 시부 레사 시부 레사선다 다 가담비 명하게 지바 가다 간다가서 다 라마 제르무치 다 제르무치가 명하디 지바 가당 명하 지바 창상 다 제르무치 요레스 고로와 제르무치 요레스 고 제르무치 요레스 고인다 다 간다 엔데레 맞아 제르무치라 막 가당 달라리디 총디가 다 제르무치라 베 조지니 마 이게 가당 명하고 지바 라리디 총디 제르무치 라리디 총디 다 라리들라 가당비 숑 라리 가당 숑바이 라리 명하고 지바 가당 라리 베 명하고 지바 로와 디 가당 명하비 지바 데스송가 참마다 제르무치 요레스 다 제르무치 그는 라리 총도와 다 당대 조지 지바 나시 다 제르무치 마가야.
So Lama Atisha possessed complete instructions of those complete lineages of instructions. And when Lama Tsongkhapa, Lama Tsongkhapa also possessed the instructions of lineages that is transmitted from the Kadamba traditions. So the Kadamba traditions are divided into three. The first one is Kadam scriptural lineage. The second one is Kadam instructions lineage. And the third one is Kadam Lamrim lineage. So there are three lineages of instructions of Kadamba. So these three lineages Lama Tsongkhapa possess as well. And then Lama Tsongkhapa composed stages, the great treatise of stages of the path to enlightenment, and the origin or the authentic source. Lama Tsongkhapa, when Lama Tsongkhapa composed stages of the path to enlightenment, was based on Land for the Path to Enlightenment. So when Lama Tsongkhapa composed Lamrim Chenmo, the main text that he referred to, which is the origin source, which is the origin or the authentic source. So he referred to Land for the Path to Enlightenment. Then Lama Tsongkhapa composed Lamrim Chenmo.
그래서 나서 가당 받으려 간다 가당 shum바 와서 가당 명아바 가당 로아 나리바지 송샤고로와 다 가당 shum바 와서 게시 보도 알아서 봐 주샤고 게시 보도 알아서 봐 가당 shum바 와서 지난 가당이 shum 주샤고 지난 뉴스로 지로와 shum주데 간다 샹사단도 되지 로아 샹사단도 되지니 지빈 송세 맞아 미도스다 그래 지빈 다 샹사단도 되지니 라잖디 그 샹사단도 되지니 지빈 송 我落地的君主里的，落地的君主里的带一重是的，带一重，
君主而已。
我落地的君主里是吧？
大一重。
带一重，但接着说是把当切的几笔重是的，对比重是了，检测对比重是。
接着说是是的流说是了呗。
对流说是把，但流接着的说是把这个嘛了，流说是把对吧？
流说是。
那个说是把接着不能流的。接着说是把是那可能定期去过了。接着说是把是呢。接着说是把了这个过了。接着说是把的话。
说是吧。
接着说是把的，这个呢的话，切的几笔重。但熊出的跌出的也是看到的话。
切的几笔聪明那的开始聪明的一个是。
切的几笔重噻，就那我说流速少数有了吧？得上这个数了话的。切的几笔重的。
几笔重大于重的。
几笔重，大于重的对吧？大于重的那这个君主的吧？大于重的话。
他们对比重的。
他们的接着对比重噻。对比重。我的，他刚当个熊出的左熊出的跌的是过。
So, referring to the first one, Kadam scriptural lineage that is transmitted from Potoa and etc. So, Kadam scriptural lineage, basically they have 6 main texts to refer to. So, 6 Kadam scriptures. So, the 6 scriptures are, the first pair is Bodhisattva levels, Bodhisattva grounds, and ornament for Mahayana Sutra. So these are the first 2 scriptures that Kadam scriptural lineage followers and mainly refers to. So this Bodhisattva grounds and ornament for Mahayana Sutra is also called the collections of conduct. And the second one is compendium of training. The second one is called compendium of training and Bodhicharya Vatara. So English is engaging in the deeds of the Bodhisattvas. And these 2 are called collections of view. These 2 are called collections of view. And the third one is birth stories, Buddha's birth stories, and specific teachings. Birth stories and specific teachings. And they are called collections of faith. So these are the main 6 scriptures that Kadam scriptural lineage followers mainly refer to.
但等于是我说高档熊猫是的，等于刚到熊猪了，娘嘞，请你先把对了，刚到高档熊猫娃是都是那个意思是吧？
Since they are called Kadam scriptural lineage followers is because they refers to the Kadam scriptures, the 6 that I have just mentioned just now. They practice based on these 6 scriptures.
他高档哪里把是的了？他高档哪里把是的？给些根巴老师把了，是吧？给些根巴老师把的说的，别哪里钱的穷说，是吧？他哪里的说了别，看到做钱的些的，哪里的是了做钱的些的，那说不就把娘的钱的了？他高档哪里把是是吧？他哪里把刚才我说他想就哪就的嘛，是吧？想就哪就的嘛。我等做哪里了别钱的些吧，对了，高档哪里把是。
The second one is Kadam Lamrim lineage. So those followers of this lineage, this lineage is mainly transmitted from Geshe Gunbawa, and then the content they practice the content of these the 3 scopes of being. Sorry, they practice the path of 3 scopes of being, the medium scope of the small scope of being, the medium scope of being, and also the great scopes of being. They practice the path of these 3 scopes of beings. Therefore, they are called the followers of Kadam Lamrim lineage.
他搞到明白是话的，搞到明白是话的，就那地里路过的，看到的话，我说，哪里的，是吧？熊全部了，马蛋的，是吧？熊全部知了，看到，是的。 路上节目都不是吧？他讲的拉米的明啊的，拉米明啊的那些，他明啊的哪里被我说的被下边的哪里电浪的牛浪是全通通没地方嘛是吧？哪里电浪的牛浪是，就是通通没地方嘛的。 달라미기 맹압소다 나리 대란 년아냥부터리 퉁둘러파 자네 대소소 그 두바냥리 지야데 로와 근데 퉁두도 배 맹압서 양내 안데 배 맹압서 년에 대배 나리 충주들이 대란다 년아서 미누마리요 말로와 대소로파 자네 대냥리 지바들라 가나 맹압바 아시는 거 다 간다 쟁어봐 이시 쟁어와 스트림버와시 구소련도와
쟁어와 당 주팀?
쟁어와시 다 그런 스트림버세 보러
Yes. And the third one is Gadam instructions lineage, and this lineage is transmitted from Jingawa. They are called Gadam instructions lineage is because they are unable to study those great texts, and because of this, therefore they refer to texts, shorter texts such as the quick path, such as swift path and easy path. So they refer to shorter texts, and by relying on this shorter text, conjoining it with the instructions given by lamas, and then they listen to those instructions again and again, then they put it into practice. So they are the practitioner or the followers of Gadam instructions lineage.
다 되는데 다 지를 묻히게 간다. 다 조진디 가서 조지 빠대디 셔는 가서 베다 자치 지지데 사모 따지고 지바 딘디 지바 신의 지바 건가 명하다 딘데 내가 나시 다 가서 지를 묻히게 나리디 좀 깔아로와 다 딘디기 지바 건가 딘바 마세 다 가담비 명아 가담비 명아 창사다 딘바리 예세와 명아 숑바이 명아 딘바 나리비 명아 딘바 어로와 로와 가담 명아 담박 명하다 티 창상아 덴바레 티 덴다데 제르모치 가달라리 비지바데 인디 로더 트신스 어디라 명하 비지바 센사다 로더 트신스 가담 라마디레 로와
가담 람림바
가달라리 비지바데 가달라리 라리 명하 비지바데 인처럼 가서 뜻다니마 뉴스들이 데이터에서 라리 미로와 담마 명하 시사다 로더 트신스 어디레 로더 트신에 명하다 세마레스 고 제르모치 가달라리 비명하데 가달라리 비명하고 지바데
So just like Lama Atisha possessed the complete instructions of profound view and vast conduct, Lama Tsongkhapa also possessed those instructions. And on top of that, the instructions of Kadamba lineage. So the Kadamba lineage, as mentioned just now, the Kadam scriptural lineage, instruction lineage, and Lamrim lineage. So Lama Tsongkhapa also possessed those lineages as well. So Lama Atisha received the lineage of instructions of Kadamba Lamrim lineage from Hoda Drupchen. So Lama Tsongkhapa received the lineage of instructions of Kadamba scriptural lineage from Hoda Drupchen.
다 간다 근데 간다 주바디로와 가달라리 비지바디로와 다 가다 숑바이 명하고 주바데 다 게시샤라와다 소나이 라리니다 치조선 가다게 라마 치조 상보세 딜레세마로와 가담베 라마 치조 상보세 딜레세마로와 가다 숑바이 명하고 주바디
And Gadam scriptural lineage that is transmitted from Sharawa and others. And Lama Tsongkhapa received the lineage of instructions from Chogyop Sangbo. Lama Tsongkhapa received the lineage of Kadamba scriptural lineage from Chogyop Sangbo.
다 가다 명하고 지바데 데로와 산제 페덴진 하리데 로다 드실라 셈버스 가다 명하고 지바데 로다 드실라 셈버스 제르모지
And the last one, the lineage, Gadam instruction lineage. Gadam instruction lineage, Lama Tsongkhapa received it from Hoda Drupchen.
다 들으신다. 다 제름부치네 간다로와 다 가담비 라리 페라리 다 나서 제름부치 라리 첸디 추송 다 간다치다 두스 mambo세 다 라리 스페 되게 지바 그가데 조이에 가담비 라리는 마 시월에 조지 빠데 에디션이 망고스 시월에 라리기 민토야도 들어와 라리기 된다 민토야도 다 된디 가다 에 숑바이 명하고 지바다 명하고 짐바 될 가다 라리 명하고 지바 창사다 제름부치는 가디요리 데 조지 빠데 에디션을 간다마 두스마 림바기는 마 중요로와 다 자치치지 사모타지 말이마 아니다 마 조지 바데디션 마 도스 용거래 데 조지 바데디션 마 지바도스 간다 다 제르모체도스 말레디에스와 창자 제르모체 가서 라리 첨모 좋아데 에 내가 창사가 되게 되는 게 지레스와
So Lama Tsongkhapa received the complete instructions from those great masters that we mentioned just now, those Katamba masters, so such as Katam Lamrim, Katam instructions lineage holders, lineage masters, and Katam scriptural lineage masters. So those lineage of instructions is, if you were to trace its origin, then it's traced all the way to Lama Atisha. So this Katamba lineage possess the complete instructions of Lama Atisha's in terms of the script, the lineage of profound view and the lineage of vast conduct. So Lama Tsongkhapa received the instructions of lineage of profound view and the lineage of vast conduct all the way from Lama Tsongkhapa through those Katamba masters. So Lama Tsongkhapa possessed all those lineages of instructions, and he composed Lamrim Chenmo. So Lamrim Chenmo also possessed the instructions, the lineage of instructions.
다 된서 단단 니 가tul pe 제르모 지게 명아 주바치 여 라고 진짜나 보지 단단 가서 조지 바데디 시작마 다 랑리긴 pe 명아 주바다 자치치지다 pe 실로 주바 강가 명아 주바 참마지 조지 바데디를 여바치 시우디 등이 데버를 간다 다 제르모 지로도 명아 주바도 시요레스 데버를 두지 쇼이로.
The reason why we talked about Lama Atisha possess those lineages such as the lineage of profound view, the lineage of vast conduct, the lineage of blessings, and etc. is to show that Lama Tsongkhapa also possessed those instructions.
당와도 제름 붙이기는데 랑리 딘나노 간다 가당비 슝바이 명아 주바다 명아 주바다 라카당 랑리 명아 주바 순가 데비트네 간다 데 랑리의 정제를 했어요 제름 붙이고.
Having obtained the lineage of instructions that were transmitted from through these Katamba masters, and Lama Tsongkhapa composed Lamrim Chenmo.
다디 벌면서 데 참데 다디르와 단 참데 가서 조지 바데 디셔 단다 명하고 지바데 마레가라 다 조지 바데 디셔랑 가서 참데 다 땡지 좀발라 다 땡지 프리스 소비 토니 다 가서 땡지 좀 심바지와 다 디셔 차가리와 땡지 좀발 다 디지레 가서 조지 바데 디셔 로마 칸디야메 다 디 참데 디레셔와 로마 칸디야메 다 간다 지나 베 자가다 베요 베 참만 베 로마 산지 마샤바 몽보여레 다 디조 가시 시고도와 조 가시 시고도와 다 자가다 자가나 베나 베네다 조어다 치만냥 같은 베네다 지금부터 시와다 담아 아까라마 디스와다 오마싱에 사이닝 버시와데 조지 벨호마 조지에서 디바 칸다 조지 라마 세림바 베 비게 세링이라 베네들와 사이닝보 로마디 다디조 치르도와 냠데 시브레시 디사이닝보디 조레도와 어다디 자가니 지나 삼주마 잡아 로마 망고에서 다다디 카시지 미베도와.
So this is under the divisions, the ability to ascertain the victor's intention due to Atisha possessing these three causes of excellence. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the Lama Atisha's disciples in India, in Nari, and in Tibet. So the masters who was like this had an inconceivable number of students in India, Kashmir, Odiyana, Nepal, and Tibet. However, the main ones were 4 great scholars in India who matched the master himself in their exalted knowledge, such as Pitopa, Tamakaramati, Madhya Simha, and Siti Karvan. So those were the students that Lama Atisha brought together to island of Golden Island to meet Lama Salingpa.
오늘 순서티 이 간다 다 로말 시바이나로와 다 베니 차샤바이나로와 다 벨라베 인디도와 나리네베 벨랑아서 나리다 장칸 의서데 시시보다 치바시 서제 시미팅도와 베니 로마 연주도서 나리스와 가서 딘쇼르스 간다 Mahakali shul deshola reswa. Karamuchi shula res deshola. That sounds what an azo shigazi shola kanda. Zangtashi muyo. That de kunshul. The county, county comes out as a combustion massivoro. They use one as a Hasaya Roa. Hasaya, the such a she can mean Begutua. She mean Begudu. That kind of Narine Pina, lots of oranges and Matana, so lots of Halamachanji, that Chiba Sanjo Machabatua. But the Narine Lomatsu is the Takidan Mamma is a roa.
So Lama Adisha also had numerous many students, inconceivable number of students in Tibet as well. So in Tibet, there are few places. There are 4 places. The one is Ngari, another one is Zhang, the third one is Kam, and the last one is U. So Ngari is near Mount Kailash. Zhang is where Tashilumbo Monastery was. Tashilumbo Monastery is. And Kam is a place as well. So from Zikishla's birthplace. U is Lhasa, so the main capital city in Tibet. So these places of the Tibet, so Lama Adisha also had a inconceivable number of students there, such as in Ngari, it was great translator in Chinzampo and Natso.
That's only Gagiwata, Kubal Hatzisiwata. Hoda Chapa Chinjoso, or that day, Disantua. That Zuka Mizo Kashim, Chidabeloma Shumamudua.
So here only lists out a few names only. However, Lama Adisha had inconceivable number of students, so he had many students. So in the province of Zhang, then Kakewa and Kokuba Kaze, in Hlora, then Chaba Chijo and Gyewakyong in Kam, and others masters as well.
That kind of Nenjo Chimposi or the Gumba, Gishi Gumba, Srindo, Gishi Shirabuji, Chata Tembasi, or this Rua.
So in Kam, Nenjoba Chembo and Gishi Gumbawa, Gishi Shirab Doji and Chata Temba.
That Unipe more Kungun rules Shilda, that be Shilkeba Chimbo, Kusana, Rua, Zendu Yundus, Kutsundu Yundis, and tell me, Kusa de la Zendu Yundis. What the more lepisher of Severo. Dan Dunsola, Dan Dunta Jain, Tape, George Loma Lari, Dangamanga, so the Delwa. Ko Zendusingero, Dundamba, Jain,
and in central Tibet, so in central Tibet is U. So in central Tibet there were 3, so Ku, Ngu, and Drum. So Ku, Ngu, and Drum are the short form for 3 masters, and the short form abbreviated name for 3 masters. Ku is Ku Zunyu Yungzhong. Ku, his name is Ku Zunyu Yungzhong. Ngo is Ngo Lek Beshera. Drum is Dundamba. So Dundamba Kiwi Jungne.
The Dundamba the Tape George, that Loma Yotomi, that so did his Rowan Dundamba. And Dundamba Chanju Lari Manga, Damba to Dundamba Naris. Lari Manga Chana the Pe, Dundamba Naris. Or Lari. The George by the Dundamba. Did you want to country as George shooting me? Manga the Charm of the Hindu Tesarakum do say George this Somaris. Lari Mangade. Oh, me, she said, Hinda Tesarakumus. That Manga de Tiala, the Alila Boremudo, the Manga de Pichumachi, Yanich Budo. Oh, the Lari Manga Chansat, the Shumbai Mangata, Dambai Roa, Manga Jibade. Till the Shumbai Manga Lari Manga Chansade, Kanan Nuntambala, not his word. Then Nuntambala, go chichine, go Sud, Sud not his word, I didn't Nuntambala.
Sudu number.
Koran Kochi Sud, Mishenda Meva Koran Chibola. Koran Chibola.
The Mega Sumba de Ragada,
the Manga Chansa Lari,
Mega
Chansa. The Lari Manga Chansa.
That's right. And among these great students or great disciples of Lama Adisha, the most outstanding one is Drumdemba. So Lama Adisha gave all lineages of instructions of Lamrim to Drumdemba. So this And then Trundamba asked Lama Atisha, why did you give me the instructions of Lamrim only to me? So Trundamba asked Lama Atisha, and Lama Atisha said, because there is no other people that I can give it to. So only you can, only you can receive such lineage of instructions, because that is not easy.
단 룬템발 템바 제바 템발은 진짜 배송이 제바 엔디기 네 체바체 조지 바데디 데츠니 간다 단 룬템발이 마 때까담 빌라마 마음고질라 마지데 나리게 시비 찹스레스로 룬템발이 마
까담 기라마
때까담 빌라마 룬템발 때까담 빌라마 마음고질라 마 지치니 마 주니 나리게 시비 찹다 차도 리스코.
Yeah. So Trundamba is the one who most outstanding one. So he upheld, he preserved, and he increased the teachings of Lama Atisha. He upheld, he preserved, and he increased teachings of Lama Atisha, and then transmitted them through those Kadamba masters, and because of these, Lama Atisha's teachings were widespread in many places.
다 디니스가 다 단단 가서 디 엔체라 다 간다 조지 간다로 조지 인제바 치kun쯤바 템진제바 비체와시 다 디디지 차버리스 간다 조지 인제바티 다 조지 인제바디 딜라 차리스와 조지 인한단 제바디 간다 다 디디지레마도 조지 가서 조지의 라마스니 바니게 남탄 제바 창조시기는 다 남탄 아시시고나 마부 쇼여스와 다 단다 드는 가서 가서 디디시요 다 제 버버를 양 가서 버버를 디디시에 쇼이로와.
And so this concludes the activities of Lama Atisha that he did in Tibet and he did in India as well. So it is like a short biography about Lama Atisha's. And if we were to expand the biography of Lama Atisha, then it will take a long time. So, for example, how Lama Atisha went to meet Lama Selingpa and etc. So in the future, if we have time and opportunity, then we will talk about it in brief.
당어서 디시야데 다짜이 사치 님바들다 다딩어서 짜이 사치 신을 베게 전부전에 사치 담보데 최군제바 템신제바 비쳐와 당님바 당알라기 바치 비치치와 숨바 치와니 림비치는 내지다셔 시바 담망의 질로 마치다 저 유심바 시스 카스타지 시보들랑이 냐니다 냐네 레레슈사이바 사치 시보들기 된다레 레레슈사이바 어다 사치 담보데 거 짜이 사치 담보데 로와 최군제바 템신제바 비치와 다디 디디시 차와네 다서 진님바데 다 당알라 그바시비 취지 채와서 다자 있어 진님바 디레 나서 디르마 다 주시셔이로.
So we finish the first root outlines. So I have talked about the four root outlines. So the first one is showing the greatness of the author in order to make his Dharma a pure source, showing the greatness of the Dharma in order to generate respect for the instructions, explanations of how teachings possessing those two greatnesses should be listened to and explained, explanations of the stages by which a student of the actual instruction should be guided. So these four are the four root outlines. And we already finished the first one, showing the greatness of the author in order to make his Dharma a pure source. And I'm going to talk about the second one, showing the greatness of the Dharma in order to generate respect for the instructions.
다디는 배 개체몽아서 최대배 짜치리 가지면 최대가 배로와 최체 간디면 되게 된다는 시험으로서 다 장주 나리데 무슨 나리데 배 취하게 취시하게 다시 저做的것도 장주 나리데로와 장주 나리데로와 어다데 짜치리 가지면 될 간다 취체 간디면 될라 니가 간디면 다 되게 뭐 간디면 돼 장도 되는 시험으로서 말와
람림디
람리데 다 람리다 람리데로와 다 지버와.
So this second root outline, showing the greatness of the Dharma in order to generate respect for the instructions, is to identify how precious this Lamrim text is. So he refers to Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment. So to recognize how precious this text is, and to recognize how powerful this text is, and to identify the nature of this text.
nanjing also ngazo pecha tidang shiu di lama de kadin yang se mambo sungres ngazo pecha ma ti kala sang ta de sa ji sewa de la digitola sa ji khana ko jene sang tang ba ina wata de sela endu tembo nya da shung dodo de len tu re se wa ro sa ji khana da dang da dinga dang la ge pa ji bi chi ji chewa se lo de dang sewa de 먼저 대 장주랑들이 코나 이래 방면수 와 담아들와 다 되니 장주랑지 점마데 랑디들에 장주랑리들에 와 랑리들에 다 들라 와 규바지시도 되니 들라파 계산다 매진다 규바 된다 지 체도 가르치고 그랬으나 왔다 랑지 점만들 취체다 체와다 차히 니바 가르면 대신 그랬어 대신 바이나 되게 니바 장도 시험바이나 어때 대바치는 거래 몇센째 이거래 그러 규바치 그래 대바 이거래 저들 두바냐니 지야 이거래 내 장소 이거래 대 마시나 체와다 니바다 그래서 마시바이나 대 대바다 규바다 지투고 말와 대바 규바 지투고 말와 어디래 사치 코로나 당할라 규바치 취지 체와서 다 취기 체와서 취 장주 라지도만 되게 체와 시행을 대비 대소 시험이던데 대바치는 거래 해서 대바다 규바
So in monasteries, when those teachers they teach those philosophical texts in class, and then those teachers they always repeat the importance of think about and to remember the root outlines. So by remembering the root outlines and you contemplate based on the root outlines that you remember in heart, and then those content of that text will stay in your mind firmly. So showing the greatness of the Dharma in order to generate respect for the instructions. So here, instructions refers to the instructions in Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment, this Lamrim text. So in order to generate respect for those instructions, then we have to understand the greatness of the Dharma. We have to understand the greatness of these teachings. So how precious it is, how powerful it is, the nature of it, the greatness of these texts, and the good qualities of these texts. So having known or having recognized the good qualities, those nature and how powerful this text is, then we will develop respect to this to the instructions, and then we will develop faith in the instructions, and then we will start to put it into practice. So we listen to it, and then we contemplate on it, and then we meditate on it.
다다다 니랑아서 개체 모시비도 로와 최는 당한디 좀 chanju 한지 좀 말이에요. 다 최세와래 간다 당아 안디 형 당한디 형데 간다 chanju 랑리게 마 시야게 최 되게 당아데 형 가를 전다도 마시고서는 다 랑디게 전다도 마시고 요래서 다 제일 뭐지 대송으로 최는 당한디 형 chanju 랑지 좀 말이에요. 시야게 최대 시야게 최대 가르서는 최대 chanju 랑지 좀 말게 전다도 마시고 요래서 다 장주를 언제 되마세요? 간디 지어서나 다 좋은 이제 흉망보 지어데 참만으로 배 싸워 나시 일단 장주를 언제 되래서 언제 들어와 언제 되래서 보다 되시고.
So identifying the Dharma. As for the Dharma, the source text of the present instructions is Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment, and although there are numerous texts composed by elder, so elder referred to Lama Atisha. Then for the Path to Enlightenment is their culminations like a root. So Lama Atisha composed many texts, and the text that is like the root among the texts composed by Lama Atisha is Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment.
이리와 다데 시오데 다 싸웠다보다 전투랑데 이미 준세리 시오다 다 조지기 변화때 망보 열에 이나 사만은 때 싸웠다보다 랑데레스 랑데데 이미 준세데 가르스나 오 다데 죄자 용스 조바 치치치소가 시고다 죄자 용스 조바 라도 랑데와 루히레 체바도 파바지 디 치치데송레 다 랑린드라파 만다와 치치소여서 들다 대신 된지 참만을 요마스 성고요마스 고다 근데 치치송데 죄자 용스 조바스 로와 라도 랑데와스 루히레 체바도 파바지 디송레 치치송데 지지선 어떤 지지선의 chance 담보 지지선 뭐 진등이什么 지금 그와 장중란지 좀 되게 간다 지지선의 熊단지기 싸웠다 버리 이비 준세대 지지 담보의 제자 용수 줘봐 님바다 라서 랑대와 손바데 루히의 체바다 밥이 지지다 된 거리 했어 어떤 대선의 담보 chance 디 뇌서 뺏게 줘버다.
The presentations of these texts as the three complete, easily applicable, and particularly novel systems. So here it talks about the three special qualities of Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment that is like a root among the texts composed by Lama Atisha. And these three qualities is complete in terms of content. So this is the first quality is complete. The second quality is easy to put into practice. And the third one is particularly a noble system compared to others.
어떻게 저는 마지막에 내가 나도 장준아리 미세 취취소다 체화시지요 다 체화시의 제일 내거와 다 취취 돼서도 나서 장준아리 나시 신다 총청부터서 랑리 나시 상고 마세거로다 어떻게 마지막에 담몽에서 마치 내대 취취소는 간다 들만 어디 제기로와.
Yeah, so these three qualities, as mentioned just now, complete, easy to put into practice, and particularly noble systems that these stages of the path, these texts of stages of the path contains is very important, is things that we have to memorize in our mind. And we have to memorize because of these texts possessing these three qualities. Therefore, it makes these texts a special one that other texts or scriptures, other texts that do not is not special, is not as special as this Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment, because of Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment possessing these three qualities. And besides these three qualities, also have these four greatnesses that we will talk about it later.
당아주 취취 담보데마 진시시거이다로와 다 취취 담보데 당아서 장주란데데 로와 다 장주란데데 간다 제자 용수 줘봐래 세 제자 용수 줘비 취취의 댕그래 스타데 담보데 장주란데데 제자 용수 줘비 취취의 댕그래 데 댕기비 준세의 가르래 다 준세 미소 디상아주 준세 시고로와 준세 마시나 데스르지네 들이 치치고마로와 지지구마로와 다 장주란데데 제자 용수 줘비 취취의 댕고요레스 가르치는 댕고였으나 오 너다 나니까 니 디네 참아 때문에 송라드레스 너다 나니까 니 디네 때문에 송라 와 너다 나니까 너가 니가 니 디네 때문에 송로지 송사 왔다 제자 용수도 비춰쳐다 댕고 준세 때레스 다 준세 될 하수 요마다 다 뒤창 뺏게 정보다 준세니 시고.
So Lamp for the Path possesses the first quality, which is complete in terms of its content. So complete in terms of its content. So why do we say Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment possess the good quality of complete in terms of its content? Is because we have to talk about reason. Yeah. So if we do not talk about reason, then we will not develop. We will not believe in it. Yeah? So we have to talk about its reason. Why you say that it has the quality of complete in terms of its content is because it indicates all the points of both Sutra and Tantra in summary fashions. So this is the reason why we say Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment possess the good quality of complete in terms of its content. So it indicates all the points of both Sutra and Tantra in summary fashions. Because of this reason, it has the quality of complete in terms of content. So it's very important to know about it.
다 대원가서 랑리 비치지 소치레 다 랑리 데페 제샤 용수도 비치치다 댕거리 댕기비 준세데 단 너다 나니까 그니 진에 데비 다 간다 송라레세로와 단 너다 나니까 그니 진에 데비 송라 송다 다 간다 제샤 용수도 바레 스타디 도도 셀나이진다.
Yeah. So we have to memorize it. So the first quality is complete in terms of content. Yeah. So the reason is it indicates or it contains all the points of both Sutra and Tantra in summary fashions. So this is the so we memorize the point and then we memorize the reason.
다 내가 너시 가서 랑리를 잡고다. 단다리 가서 창주 랑리 라인바. 다 창주 랑리데 제름 뭐지게 좀 창주 랑리데 간다. 제샤 용스 좀비 cheche다 된거리스. 데 대구부 준세데 다 창주 랑리데게 동안 니게 내디네 때문에 소라레스. 다 창주 랑리도 대가레스. 근데 니가 단다 집어 잡았다. 제름 뭐지게 간다. 조지 빠데디셔게 창주 랑리 좀한테 된다 시고도와 대배 저자 용수도 바로 이미 준세데 동안 니게 내디네 때문에 소라레스. 이 송고열에 다 만족이 돼 창주 랑리데 대가레. 다 창주 랑리데 제샤 용수 좀비 cheche다 된거리.
So now we are talking about Lamb for the Path to Enlightenment composed by Lama Atisha possess the three qualities. The first one is complete in terms of content. It is complete because of indicating or processing all the points of both Sutra and Tantra in summary fashions. So this is applied to Lamb for the Path to Enlightenment composed by Lama Atisha, right? So now we apply this first quality to this text, this current text that we are studying, which is Sages of the Path to Enlightenment composed by Lama Tsongkhapa, this Lamrim Chenmo. So this Jangchup Lamrim composed by Lama Tsongkhapa. So this Jangchup Lamrim text also possess the first quality. It is complete in terms of content because it contains all the points of both Sutra and Tantra in summary fashions. So this is applicable to Jangchup Lamrim as well, composed by Lama Tsongkhapa.
다 지치 송요랭이 지치 니데 다 제일 쉬고이 마도 드리 차삼버로와 드리 가서 두어틀레다 레 디셀레사샤 다데 지치 송도 개첨보 다 랑리데기 요도메도 지치 송도 치와 시세 디지키고다 다데 땡지 현달라 만상하지 랑리란 송그레세 슈라 만레르와 다데 슈라가 주지 쉬이 다베 개첨보시다레 데 창상베 툴라나로지로와.
Second quality, I will talk about it next class because now we're starting for question and answer. So this is a very important points that we have to know and then we have to memorize as well. So regarding these three qualities, the Lamrim text possess and four greatnesses, this Lamrim text possess. So because of these three qualities and four greatnesses, it makes this Lamrim text a special text.
Question?
Sheila, been here.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify in terms of terminology. In page 6, on the paragraph after the on the B, how Atisha lineage is uninterrupted. The first line, go up. Yeah. So Atisha held numerous lineages of guru, such as two lineages of the common vehicle. Here just now, can you say common vehicle means Hinayana, and you said Vaibhashika and Sautantrika. I just want to clarify. Usually when we use vehicle, we are talking about the three vehicle, the hearer, solitary realizer vehicle, and then the Mahayana or Bodhisattva vehicle. But just now when you, I heard is the common vehicle is Vaibhashika and I think Sautantrika. Can we clarify, because I thought vehicle is for these three vehicles.
Yeah. Lama Atisha Lama Cuba Gicola, Shia Yora, the Lama Cuba de Cashiores, Kanda, the teaching Tumo Wadang, teaching Tumo Maimba, Ni Yora Isla, teaching Kaza, Teba Tumo Makunda, Teba Tumo said the Kasa, Chitangi China Shewaina, Teba said the Nientugi Teba Dang, Rangi Teba Dang, the teaching Teba Chimbora, and in the Teba Tumoa Sevicabla, and the Gishala, the Chedamawa Gicola, the Shevara, Chedamawa, and the Casa, the Doteba, the Gondi, the Nicosonsa, the Linas.
The Tiba Timos and so Tiba Timos not that did another day Zai Dishi, that Dodeba Chedama. That the Zugipin at Timo in Yansalanja, then as a Tiba Chimori Jigo Yansala, you were. 마소 나지 테메지 데네스 티바 티모이 데네스 로고로
자.
이게 마소 마 시가 테메지 쇼네 시비 간다 로와 데네스 간다 네티지 데네스 티바 티모이 데네 티바 티모이 데네스 로고레스 데네 테메지 데네스 티바 티모이 데네 데 간다 마소 로게 진세 가서 지부 충무단 티모이 나지는 바스 로고도 지부 충무단 티모이 나지는 바 지부 린다 티모이 나지는 바스 그 로고디 지부 첨부도 속에 냐네 치야던 티모 차데레스 레와 지부 충무단 티모이 나지는 바들라 지부 첨부가 냐네 제고요레스 지부 첨부가 냐네 치야 준세지 티모하고 그랬어 그 라마 지부 티모하야데 在地时的我觉得新手节目的，是吧？娘的这个就是定睛听我效果，是吧？听我效果的，我的那天对吧？我的娘的结果的，这边前面人就这边节目娘的结果的，这边这个娘的结果的，这边全部娘的结果的是看得到的。我提拔题目，我提拔题目对的是
Yeah. So regarding this common vehicle, so this common vehicle can be referred to the four original traditions, so the Mahasangika and etc. So basically it talks about, so basically it refers to Sautrantika and Vaibhashikas as well. So the baskets of teachings of Hinayana, so it refers to the baskets of teachings of hearer, solitary realizers, and hearer and solitary realizers, and they are also called baskets of teachings of common vehicle. So those baskets of teachings of hearer and solitary realizers is also called the baskets of teachings of common vehicle. So common vehicle, the reason why it's called common vehicles is because it is common to is commonly practiced by small scope of beings, and the baskets of teachings such baskets of teachings is commonly practiced by the medium scope of beings, and it is commonly practiced by the great scopes of beings as well. So that is why it's called common vehicle, or the baskets of teachings of common vehicle.
Okay.
Gisela, Kuaya.
Yeah.
My question, Gisela, is on the lineages, the vast lineage and the profound lineage. It's always said that Maitreya transferred the vast lineage to Asanga, and then Nagarjuna, and then Maitreya, and then Manjushri transferred to Nagarjuna, Aryadeva, and so on. So my question is that when you talk about the vast lineage, or the lineage of method, and the lineage of profound view, in the text of Maitreya, in his prayer of love, I was reading to verse 16 to 22nd, which is about the perfection of wisdom, the six perfections, the perfection of wisdom. So where he mentions about dependent arising, he mentions about the stylelessness and wishlessness. In other words, that the three times, past, present, and future, do not have their own existence, don't have any inherent existence, in other words. So my question is, Maitreya obviously possesses, I put it the other way, that it doesn't mean that Maitreya, down to Asanga, does not possess the profound view. Neither does it mean that the Manjushri and down to Nagarjuna, Santideva, also do not possess the vast view of method. So, in other words, they possess both. Although it is presented that Maitreya brings down the vast lineage, and the Manjushri brings down the profound lineage, but it appears that they actually possess both lineages on both sides of the divide. You know my question, Ken? That means that Maitreya also possesses the profound view,
Yes.
that, and also Nagarjuna, Maitreya, Asanga, what they call it, Deva, Tangagati, they also possess the understanding of the vast view of methods. Is that correct? Is that the right? In other words, all masters actually do possess the complete view of profound and vast lineages, rather than just, because now we are talking about coming down from one line and then the other one coming down from the other line. But it doesn't appear that they don't understand the other view. You know what I mean? That it didn't really come down in that manner. That actually they do possess the understanding of both view and the method. Yeah.
Yes. That's true. Yeah. And the Cuban year, actually, the catching traffic Cuba down, and some Dawi Cuba. And it is Manchester, Chamba, Convenient, actually. And it is Chamber, actually. The Chamba Kumula, and Melam Kia, the Chamber Melamina. And it is Chamber Melana, and it is Lovica line, the Pasa. Shaki paru tu chimba di kyanggen di sheki ore sa tengte gi kola di sheki ore yante tusumgi di rangshingi ne yomares rangshingi kasa rangshingi juba yomares tusumgi rangshingi juba yomares di kyanggen di sheki ore sa tengte ina di samutagi manjushui gi kuba ina da manjushui ne kuba ina da di chamba kumbu ne kuba ina da 니가 교반이기 펜준기 심기어와 디 가서 디 자진 조규기 교바 디 교기 교내래 애니 디 교바 자진 조바기 교바 양시라기 심네 디 교기어와 애니 디 사무다웨기 교바이나 양디 자진 조규기 심네 애니 디 다가랑 디 지지 지네 지라 애니 디 교기어와 근데 이나스
Dita niga jingore masuma ngosuma jipa sonya jorwa ta kanda jiji shamba ngombo jachi chuju gi jipa de ngos songwa de ina samo ta ji jipa songwa sa songyo resko jipa de songyo res ta nga su zo ma ngos jiya zo chi shewu de ta bede ngendo jiren ba de sawa shi de tingwe ro de loge ju de bede ngendo jiren ba de zo sawa shi de tingwe res de shewu de kanda samo ta ji shewu sa sheda shewu res
Yeah, that is correct. Basically, the lineage lineage of profound view or lineage of vast conduct transmitted from Maitreya and Manjushri, they infuse with each other. So that means the lineage of profound view is infused with the lineage of vast conduct, and the lineage of vast conduct also infused with the lineage or teachings of the profound view. Yeah, so now we talk about, it's just that when we talk about the direct transmissions, then the divisions is based on the direct transmissions. So it's not that, it's exactly what you said. So even though it talks about the lineage of vast conduct, it doesn't mean that in the teachings, it doesn't talk about the profound view.
Thank you. 다들 저런 라들 거야 이랬고 맞아 나진 돌 계제 시우도 돈링이 지지 조 시빈도 된 인데진도 군조 된 방이 지지 조 시빈도 된 간다 장대진도 시우로 와 다치는 데고 시우다 돈링이 지지 조 시빈도 서 군조 된 땡고서 땡고여레스 또 시야 되고 돈반이 땡고여레스 오면 땡고여레스 군조기 군조 된 땡고서 땡고여레스 이나 조데 마 시야가 돈이 되시고 그래서 무슨 어딘 돌아 또 시고 시오디 또 서에서 저는 덴바이어스 때 네가 생고레스
도에는 가장 예전기 도에나디
돈이 지조시고
장면기 도에나디 조 가르시
군도 덴바 지조시고 봐
Yeah, so what you say is correct because in terms of sutra, they can be divided into two: the sutra of definitive meaning and the sutra of interpretive meaning. Definitive and interpretive meaning. So the sutra of definitive meanings mainly talks about the ultimate truth, which is emptiness. So if someone were to ask you the sutra of definitive meaning, does it talks about conventional truth or not, then we have to say yes, it talks about conventional truths, but it talks about the ultimate truth.
Thank you.
Good evening. Hello, good evening, Gashela. I would like to ask regarding the page number 5, paragraph, the last one, being learned in the 5 areas of knowledge. I know that on top.
On top,
below.
Okay.
Below. Being learned in the 5 areas of knowledge.
Yes, okay.
If I'm not mistaken, and the page 3, in the page 3, Lama Atisha at the age of 21, having studied 4 areas of knowledge. So this one, another 5th knowledge is considered as what knowledge?
Okay. 现在这边的了解了，现在这边那么底下了，现在这边了看吧了，你的上个送吧了，你的可啥人类系的写吧了，家电子的所堂的所了，你的我们的看的这啥？
哪里不得想
And the 5th areas of knowledge refers to the inner Buddhist knowledge.
Okay, all right.
Inner Buddhist knowledge, I think on page 3 also got inner Buddhist knowledge, baskets of inner knowledge.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Gashela.
Gishela, can I ask one question? Yeah, Sally here. This is actually a question from a student, which I thought Gishela might like to elaborate, if possible. It is basically the meaning of mundane and supramundane. So mundane, the worldly, and supramundane, usually transcendent or beyond worldly, right? Geshe-la mentioned this last week as the 5th benefit of guarding the Praktimoksha vows. Geshe-la said that 5th benefit is the origin of all mundane and supramundane accomplishments. Supramundane accomplishment we can understand as a state of enlightenment, and mundane accomplishment we can understand as wisdom realizing emptiness and cultivation of bodhicitta. Can Geshe-la please elaborate a little bit on it, especially on the mundane accomplishment of wisdom realizing emptiness and cultivation of bodhicitta under mundane?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, thank you very much, Sally, for reminding me. I totally forgot. Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ini 당연히 di condition di roa isla chula. Ini di sotaki tomba di songa na pengen ka di tramga yoro. Ini di jite ngutu ta kaza ngutu tumong da tumong maimbe jungkong res. Ini di ngutu tumong maimba na di sangi di kyohang je. Ini di tumong ngutu tumong waina ini di shirap 동이 또 비시라 다 디 자주기 셈디 시기로 아니 디 시기로 나 미세기 디 뇌도 투모와 디 동이 또 비시라 다 자주기 셈기 종공 이콜라 아니 디 시기로 나
당한서 디 송고에서라 소타지도 받으러 다 소타지도 받에 지진도 야보 선바이나 당한서 배 내지 건가도 파가 신라 네버스도 파까 신라 네버지에서 파까 어디 대신라 지와들 리고로와 신라 지와들 리고로와 대신라 지와들 리고리 대 장주 비슷하게 시자라고 신라 지와 제대로와 시자라고 신라 지와 장주 비슷하와 오다 대체원이 대가서 대 소타지도 뭐 대 돈이도 비시로 피하다 소타지도 뭐 야보지 근데 신라 지와들랑 진지 파톤이 대 신라 지바치 진지 제도 리고로와 근데 공부시 보는시 스팅야 뭐 소외나 다 랑 지법에 편도니한테 파 돈이 희나 그냥 세워 리고에서 희나 돈이 희나 받지 진지 리고에서 희나 진지도 야고 일레오디 대간다 장주고 세트기 지역이 니버들 리고에서 거와 니버들 리고에서 디피어 리고에서 대 간다 돈이 더 제로도 간이지 연구했으나 다 근데 소사지 동바디 배 야부 송어디 다 이지 당세 얘는 뇌세 뇽 차도 저 상마다
이기 담세.
다 이라고 와서 데 수지 송어디 배 랑이 이 센터와 다 뇌세다 차도다 뇌세다 뇽 속어도 만들어 센터도 제일 송어와我的说现在说被查到的牛毛的马多怕上面单位的当地所说的怕马多上面单位的第一次调查开始呢的当地的调查的老把的老调查满意把哈过的的东半就调的是说是娱乐节的东西都比一些娱乐节的是你把它留下是当地说怕老些的问题不是老些当地可能我也是满意吧是吧我也是满意吧查到的我就是被老天天满意吧，老新意吧，所以等这些哈过，就是被自己说的就是高的吧，自己说的就是把高的，第二被就是老些哈过，你把哈过的，这东北人就听到一个你把的来回是过，是吧？南京讲说电子老些都是那东西都来是了，我是，电子老些多吧呢，电本金把的老些多吧呢，这个东西都来是嘛，所以实际来下吧呢是吧？bomba tabu的电本级别电子有了bomba电本级别电子这个老些都是呢这bomba电的东西都来是不是bomba电
bomba电图
bomba电本级别电子的老些一把都是呢老些一把都了的但老些一把都是的bomba可能基本上是谈了门头上的都不了老些的我的bomba电的东西都来是跟平原就来是嘛说他就东巴送来的平原来是
Yeah, so regarding individual liberation vows, then we stopped those negativities, right, such as harming others and etc. So since we stopped having the harming intentions harmful intentions towards others, then we developed loving kindness towards others. So in other words, is we abandon self-cherishing, then we develop cherishing the mind, cherishing others. So since we develop mind cherishing others and loving kindness towards others, then those are the foundations for us to develop bodhicitta. So that is why it said the origins of the mundane accomplishments such as bodhicitta, the cultivations of bodhicitta. And really, in related to wisdom realizing emptiness, so similarly, when we abandon the harmful intentions towards others, when we abandon jealousies and etc., those afflictive thoughts. So since we guard ourselves from going towards following those afflictions by guarding the individual liberation vows, so we do not come under the control of self-grasping. So we recognize those jealousy, those harmful intentions, those self-grasping, etc., as a wrong view. So those are the wrong views. So when we recognize those are the wrong views by guarding ourselves from committing those from having those wrong thoughts or wrong views, then we develop the ability to realize the emptiness of it. So in other words, is if we realize self-grasping as wrong view, we realize the emptiness of it. So we realize emptiness. So we can say that we realize emptiness by recognizing self-grasping as wrong view. So in other words, example is like this. So when we realize self-grasping, apprehending, when we recognize when we realize self-grasping, apprehending the vast as truly existence as wrong view. So when we realize self-grasping, apprehending vast as truly existence is a wrong view, then we realize the emptiness of that vast. So you can say, in other words, is we realize the emptiness on the basis of vast. So this is this is because of this, then we say by guarding individual liberation vows, then it is the origins of mundane accomplishments such as the quality, wisdom, rising emptiness, and cultivation of bodhicitta.
So what Shirley asked was that wisdom realizing emptiness is mundane, follows under mundane category. Can Gisela confirm that? I thought Gisela said in the Prasangika presentation that the wisdom realizing emptiness is ultimate truth. From the point of view of Prasangika, that you negate this, it is not this, it's not this, it's not that, and therefore it is inherently, or rather then it becomes merely label. So that becomes, according to Gisela, I may be wrong, but I remember asking Gisela, and it's identified as ultimate truth. Ultimate truth is not mundane truth, isn't it? So can Gisela clarify this little, you know?
Yes, Sally was asking was the mundane accomplishments, yeah. So,
I think wisdom realizing emptiness. That's what my question is, yeah. Because different tradition has also defined it a bit slightly different. That anything, I think Holiness Dalama also did mention that if it's conceptualized, then like for Sangika, it is a reasoning. So when you conceptualize it, you can come to an inferential understanding, but it's still not the ultimate truth until you sort of direct perception. So this is a bit a gray area. So still not very clear on this point.
그래서 공기 뒤 지진 공기 그래서 뒤 그래서 응우주 투몽와 당 덴바 투몽와 뒤 그래서 니가 뒤 코노티브 사리스 그래서 당기는 뒤 기술라 간디 슈인바 아니 뒤 동이도 베시라이나 뒤 된단 덴바라스 된단 덴바이나 뒤 그래서 덴바 투몽와 마라스 ini di tangi ngan zu seli ki chiwa di tangdu tumi to be share se di nge tumo wa se gi wa ine kong ge ne ko no them ne ini tumi to be share na de tendan de mai na di tendan de mai na di temba tumo wa ma ras de kong ge ni ko no fe sa
맞아. 돈이 더 비셔로 되는 데만 이러고 말아. 돈이 들어와. 돈이 되는 데만 이해서라. 돈이 더 비셔로 양 다와도 다와 데 시바를 샤보라. 시바의 군자 됨버와. 돈이 더 비셔로 코라 군자 됨버와. 돈이 되는 데만 샤고라.
돈이 있는 데
돈이 되는 데만 당아서 규모에서 돈이 더 비셔로 되는 거 줄라치야 듣기 지시고라. 규모에서.
Yeah. So just now what Sally was mentioned just now, the questions that Sally asked on behalf of students is mundane accomplishment. So by guarding individual liberation vows, the fifth benefit is it is the origins of mundane and supra-mundane accomplishment. And the mundane accomplishments such as wisdom realizing emptiness and cultivations of bodhicitta. So if you are talking about the ultimate truth, then it refers to emptiness. Emptiness itself is the ultimate truth. So yeah, the second question is about the mundane and supra-mundane accomplishment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a quick follow-on, Geshe-la, yeah? Sally here again. This is, can we say that supra-mundane accomplishment is enlightenment and liberation alone? Is there any other supra-mundane accomplishment other than enlightenment and perhaps liberation? I don't know about liberation, other than enlightenment.
Language to mong main bahasa de kisah sangat di kopang di shine ba. Ini di yang di sula, ini di thaba di sha chuge reves. Ini di sula, ini di kesi di thaba sha tuai na. Ini di sangat di kopang da thaba le shen ba kari sha tu reves. Language to mong main ba de.
또 팀원 많이 받은 거서 배 꾸시가 차는 되고 상지 27공원이 그 고스고 그 배27공원이 그래서 참마샤는 되고 그랬어. 내가 타박 지역에 가서 초공원을 디제 갈레마스 니티지 타바라지 타바서 간다 총무로 kelling 말와 타바들 니티지 타바다 니티지 나바 타바다 라자 타바여로 디서 토르디 가서 총무로 그 도어 말와 총무로 있으면 산지지 공부터 원이고 이쪽으로 롱고 쭉 상황도 총무로 돌고
the 상이 그 한 내신 바에는 그 시샤나 디게스
공부를 시험 받고 싶으면 산지지 공부하시나 산지지 공부시고 산지지 공부 투어라 산지지 공부 투어는 그 시가 공부 투어로
that's yeah. So regarding the supramundane accomplishments, and so when we talk about the states of enlightenment, right? And state of enlightenment, I say in other words, it can be the accomplishments of four bodies. So accomplishments of four bodies: nature truth body, wisdom truth body, enjoyment body, and emanation body. So liberations is not to be called supramundane accomplishments, such as such as liberations accomplished by hearer and solitary realizers.
Okay, thank you very much, Kishla.
Yeah, thank you.
That's what it just
Thank you. To just stop here.
Yes.
당어도 뭐 제대로. 당어도 뭐데. 나리가 돌이데베 지템바지 컨트롤되고. 다다베 드마 나사 니아데바 녀도도야. 녀도도야다. 내가 좀 미세게 지속은데 더 비밀버서 간다. 로아 디치 비슷해서 봐야다. 지절한 데와 더 셀인데 벌써도 봐. 세고 토면 디바바 안에 산지지 구만이도 더라. 어디서 제공하지? 지속은 데와에서네요. 미식이 비어 최고야 리스코. 로아.
So we conclude these sessions with dedications. We dedicate these accumulations of merits, especially through these Dharma teachings, Dharma discussions. We dedicate it for the Buddha Dharma to spread in all the directions. And we also dedicate these merits for beings to be filled with, to have happiness. So we dedicate these merits for all sentient beings, especially those who come in contact with this virus, and especially those who have a Dharma connection, those who have connections with these Dharma centers. So may they, and in case if they were already passed away, so may their negativities accumulated since beginningless time be immediately purified and quickly obtain a special basis upon which achieve the state of enlightenment. We also dedicate these merits to those who are suffering right now, especially due to this virus, come in contact with this virus. So may their negativities be purified immediately, and may their life be filled with happiness.
Dagi Junior Sobi Giwande Dendando Kuna Kande Chiba Jizu Losan Timbeni Morindo Seji Jo Chanjo Senjo Rinpoche Machi Bana Jikyu Chiba Nyamba Mipa Yang Kune Kundo Pewa Sho Nyambe Paye Chida Timba Dang Kundo Sambe Tian Tijin Te La Kunje Jeso Dazo Giwande La Tanjera To Ngo Tuni Ta Rinpoche Machi Bana Jikyu Chiba Nyamba me boya kone kondo pewa sho rini tawari boje mache bana chikyo chikeba nyamba me boya kone kondo pewa sho tuzon changye jangge jangge tenzing jo pewe kuze to boze choson kuye lemen chuchu ba dozo deje dendo jade sho
红泥泥结松东就别了，七节三节刚结的那个恰那边莫的这个做了，所的所现的例如说，你点看的配的莫的吧，看的就上边一些多，个人所买的这叫做了，所的所有些的都有，刚着了也各位新看的频道的话，马里中为你接的是我定这叫做一小别新的报道的就句。
Thank you.
Thank you,
So
Geshe-la.
much.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you, Ken. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Take
Good
care.
night.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Bye,
thank you.
Geshe-la, Ken, Faye. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sinjanango.
Mala, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Keshila. Thank you, Ken. Thank you.